Today's episode is brought to you by Modern Grower. Modern Grower is the go-to source for 100% organic, GMO-free microgreen seeds. Trusted by hundreds of growers for high quality and low prices. If you're growing microgreens, start saving at shop.moderngrower.co.
Lately, I've been doing a lot of reading and kind of fallen into this school of cold composting, where you are trying to employ the biological activity of fungi over bacteria so that you leave the pile more passive. You're not turning as much. You're not concerned with temperature. And if we remove the regulatory aspect out of it, like for some people, that doesn't matter on a garden scale.
Right.
Is there some validity to that if I maintain a pile with less turning, I'm enacting fungi more in the decomposition process and potentially preserving more carbon in the soil because there's less aerobic activity, which would then send carbon up into the atmosphere as a byproduct of that aerobic activity?
You are correct in that. It's not just cold composting, though. It's been a while. I need to get it going again, but I ran an experiment on aerated static piles. Are you familiar with that? ASP? Right, forced air system. So you've got pipes laid on the ground that you, I don't know if you can see my fingers, but you would put material on the pipes like this and stack it up, and then you're forcing air up through that. And through my experiment with that, I had great results getting fungi going in the pile because I'm not turning it. So yes, the whole deal with fungi and my whole mission since I started making compost and doing what I'm doing is to get more fungal compost and get more fungi into the soil through our conventional agriculture practices, like using a tractor or having heavy machinery on the soil. It causes compaction, or especially tillage. A lot of people think that every spring they need to go out and take their tiller out and rip up the soil. So when I was talking before about that saprophytic fungi and seeing saprophytic fungi in the forest, when you notice that, it looks like strings on a stick or on leaves. And that's what's visible to our naked eye. But most of these things that I'm talking about aren't visible to our naked eye. So there's lots of things in the soil that we're not seeing. And there's tons of thread, just miles normally in a healthy, especially in a forest system, in a healthy soil. There's miles of fungi underfoot that if you were to come through, with a tiller, or in this, you're talking about compost, if we're getting this saprophytic fungi and these mycelium going throughout the pile, if you come through and turn that, you're ripping up all those threads and setting the stage back a lot earlier to, where there's more bacteria that are going to thrive, and that fungi needs more time to get going again.
So it's provide the oxygen, but don't break up that network.
Exactly, yeah. Yep. And with cold composting, most people in their backyard are going to throw, they mow their lawn and maybe they collect some of the grass clippings. They're going to throw those in a pile. And then in the fall or in the end of summer, they might have a garden and they're throwing some of those scraps on there. And then the fall, they're throwing leaves in there and sticks and things like that. And if you're not turning that, it's most likely going to go through an anaerobic process because it doesn't have air in there. But if you leave it long enough, aerobic microorganisms are going to take over, and you will have good fungi, good compost in the end, and hopefully have good fungi in there too because you haven't turned it. But it's a matter of letting it age and mature, like a year or a year and a half. And most people are wanting compost a lot quicker than that and not wanting to have to wait around.
If you enjoy farm podcasts, then tune into Carrot Cashflow for all things farm business. Join us as we explore the latest trends, tips, and stories from market farmers running businesses just like yours. Whether you're a seasoned farmer or just starting out, our podcast has something for everyone. Listen in and grow with us. Available on all major podcast platforms. Don't miss out. Subscribe to Carrot Cashflow today.